Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show. It's your friend Russell K. Make sure you join us each and every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern as we interview some of the hottest country artists from around the world. And again, special thank you to Mr. Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music, along with Music Dreams USA Radio, who are the sponsors of this show, along with Rise Up Family Sports Network as well. Mr. DeAndre, the Torch Robinson. Again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. And we've got an amazing artist with us here this evening. And she's her name is Miss KYLIE Moss, and she's with the band called GRIFFIN County Band. And they've got a pretty cool song out right now. And the name of the song is called Out Where the Dreams Are Free. And we're going to find out about that song. We're going to find out about her. We're going to find out about the band. We're going to find out about some interesting things about her. How did she get into the music business? Why does she love the business music? We're going to find out that and much more as we roll on with the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show. Again, being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music and Rise Up Family Sports Network. And so let's, without any further ado delay, let's meet our artist. She is the one, the only. Put your hands up for the one and only Miss KYLIE Moss is in the house. How are you?
I'm great, Russell. How are you?
We are great, and we're so excited you're on the show this evening with us. And how you doing?
We're good. It's good. Good. We're it's a bit early here this morning for us, but we're great.
So when you say early, how early is early for you?
It's 8:30 over here in the morning. Yeah. So that's early for me.
Where are you from? Like, where are you calling? Where actually are you right now?
So we are about an hour south of Brisbane in Queensland, in Bow Desert.
Awesome. So, no, we were supposed to be with you last week, and we had some things that actually had to take place last week. But so glad that you're here on the show this evening with us, as I mentioned. So, why don't we start off the show? Why don't you share with our listeners watching now that we'll be watching later? Can you guys share with us how did you get into the music business and why do you love it so much? And where are you guys right now?
Okay, so originally I got into the music industry when I was around 13. So I used to go to, my brothers were car racers, so I used to go to their after parties at little pubs and things like that, and I'd watch everyone, the artists up there playing, and I thought I'd love to do that. And then one day, one of the artists asked me to hop up with them, and so that was the beginning, and it hasn't stopped since then. He started me off, and then I started working in the industry from the time I was 15, and I'm still going now.
Wow, that's awesome. And are you still in contact with the person who actually got you into the music business?
He passed away about 4 years ago, but
so sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, but right up until then, yes, most definitely. Yes, he was a big part of my career right the way through. So it was a lovely connection that we made.
Do you have any mentors right now in the music business?
Not so much as in personal mentors, but I like to look around at our local artists and get some inspiration from them. We are a tight-knit community over here with the industry. I believe you interviewed young Andrew Ryan and his daughter Amy a few weeks ago.
We did.
They're part of our community over here. So Andrew was actually in our band for a little while. So we kind of work all around each other and help each other out. It's a beautiful community.
I'm sure he said a lot of nice things about us, did he not?
He certainly did, yes.
Hey, do me a favor. The next time you run into Andrew, tell him the check is in the mail.
All right.
So tell us about the band. Tell us about the GRIFFIN County Band. How did you guys get together and where are you right now?
Yeah, so we we are all teachers out of our studio that we have over here in Beaudesert. We're a teaching studio, so we work with kids and adults, helping to get them into the industry. It's very family orientated kind of a space. And we're 4 teachers here. We decided that we would go out beyond the studio and put a band together and write some originals and see how we go. So that was around 5 years ago. At the moment, we've just released our first single, Out Where the Dreams Are Free. So we're working regularly. We're doing 3 and 4 gigs a week over here and working hard to put another single out very shortly.
What is your expectations of the band, and where do you see band going 5 years from now?
5 years from now, hopefully playing festivals with lots of one-hit wonders under our belt. We'd love to tour internationally if we can, even just playing small venues across Europe and the States. That's kind of where we're looking at the moment for the next 5 years. Yeah.
What makes your band so special?
I think it's our relationship, where we've got an amazing relationship between the 4 of us. We all have the same values. We all work really well together. And I think that makes it special. It shows on stage that we're connected, not just with our music, but with our lives as well. And I think that's really special, and it's hard to find.
Yeah, I would agree with you, especially with bands. I think, obviously the relationships are so important because if you think about it, you're with your band more than you are with your regular family. And
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely would agree that, the relationship with your band is super important. And
Yes.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about the band?
Not sure.
Yeah. Hey, I forgot to tell you, when you come to the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, expect the unexpected. So this is your forum, my friend. Share what you'd like to share.
Oh dear.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Share a funny moment with us with the band. What was one of the funniest things that ever happened with the band?
Okay, here's one of the funny things. So we were playing a gig on the back of a truck, as we do plenty of times over here, and our bass player decided that he was going to be a rock star for 5 minutes, and went to step over onto the fallback and fell straight off the front of the truck. But he did not drop his drink or his bass, so he was landing. He was on the fence, still holding his bass up with his drink in his hand.
Wow.
So and that story grows every year. It grows. He grew wings at one stage. Like it was an amazing story. But yes, that's probably one of the funniest ones that we've had so far.
Did anybody get a picture of that?
Sorry?
Did anybody take a picture of that, that moment?
No, we didn't get a picture, unfortunately, but we make sure that we bring it up at a lot of gigs, so that we remind him of his supernatural powers.
What makes you love the music business so much? Why is it so special to you?
I think it's the creative side for me. I love writing. I also love sharing my stories with people and watching how my stories affect other people. There's a lot of things that go on in our lives that we think that we're alone, but once you start sharing them, you realize that there's lots of other people going through the same things, and we get to share beautiful moments with people as well, which is very special. So
what does your songwriting look like?
So when I write a song, normally the lyrics will come to me first. So I'll have an idea. Quite often they come to me in the middle of the night, which is really annoying for my partner. So I'll wake up in the middle of the night and grab my phone and start typing into my phone. And he'll wake up and go, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Just writing, go back to sleep." And he's like, "Okay." So that's usually how it happens for me. I have these weird ideas in the middle of the night. And then I'll work on them over the next few weeks and see whether they're going to work or not. Sometimes it all comes together, so I'll have the whole song in my head already, and I'll just write it out, and that's when I have to get up and record it. But it's definitely a lyrics process first for me.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten in the music industry?
Keep it simple. That is the best advice I've ever gotten in my life. I got that when I was about 16 years of age, because at that age you just have these big dreams and you want to create everything with all of these different elements and things like that. And I had one gentleman, Mr. Barry Thornton, who was a traditional artist over here many years ago, and I was talking to him about writing and recording and live shows and things like that. And he said to me, the best thing you can do is keep it simple. He said, because you can put all of these beautiful stuff down in the studio and make it sound amazing, but ultimately you have to go out there and perform it. He's like, so keep it simple so that when the people come to watch you and hear what you're doing, they're hearing what they've heard on the recording. And I was like, that's something I have kept with me for my entire life, and I install it in all of the kids that we have coming through as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's talk about your song. The song that you just spoke about. So
yeah.
So I mean, again, it's called what an amazing song. Out where the dreams are free. And I actually had a chance to listen to that song. And what an amazing song. I really, I mean, it's just one of those songs you can just like listen to over and over again. I'm not just saying because you're live on the show with us here today. I mean, I've had a chance to listen to it. And I really love it. I just love the melody. I love the flow of the song. It seems like it brings energy. And I mean, when you're telling the story, it's a clear, concise song that really tells you about the story and it relates to the song title of that song. So with that being said, how did the song come about and your thoughts about that song?
Yeah, definitely. So we are fortunate to live in one of the most beautiful places on the scenic rim. We're on a 50-acre farm just out of town, about 20 minutes out of the main town, and we're surrounded by family farms. Very lucky in this area that we have lots of generational farms that have been passed down to their families right throughout. And I was sitting at home on our veranda one day, and I was thinking about how fantastic it is to be surrounded by that, and the effect that it has on the kids growing up through these farms. And I guess that's how it came about. So talking about, once you're brought up in the farming industry, you feel like you want to leave, you feel like you want to go and escape and look at the big city and all those sorts of things. But then it's soon to realize that it's actually in your heart and you need to go back home. And the song, I guess, is just about loving the life that you are in, really. You're out where the dreams are free. So out where anything can happen. You've got the support of your family, you've got the support of your friends. And just remembering that your grandparents, your great-grandparents worked and fought for what you are benefiting now. So that was where that came from.
What type of feedback are you and the band getting from that song?
Amazing, actually. It has been a huge success for us. We're getting lots of airplay over here. We're also we've become a lot more noticed over here in the industry as well. So it's been a really good step up for us. I think being a story song, it's once again touched a lot of people's hearts that have grown up in the country or that have watched families grow up in the country.
What's next for Griffin County Band?
So next we're releasing another single at the end of October. This one's very different from the first one, and we've got shows coming up right through till Christmas. I think we're booked out until New Year's in 2025, 2024, I should say. And then we've got the Tamworth Country Music Festival coming up in January, so we're heading down there. And then May next year, we're doing a little tour over in New Zealand. So that's pretty much the next few months taken up for us at the moment.
So is it safe to say you already have an album, but you kind of just release the songs one by one? Is that an accurate statement?
That is definitely an accurate statement. Yes, definitely. So we've got a few more songs to release. We've got one in October to release, and then one in January, and then in March we'll release the whole album.
So let's talk about the album. How did that album come about?
So the album, we started recording it in 2023. It's just been a nice slow process for us. The album's actually been recorded live, so we decided that we would give it a live feel rather than a studio feel, because we wanted it to be us, and whatever happened in the studio at the time happened. So I think it's given it a really good sort of open feel, so people can actually get to know us as musicians and people. Rather than do a studio album where it's kind of very stilted and things like that. We just wanted it to be us, as raw as it came.
Awesome. So now let's go on stage. Or you're performing live. I mean, if I'm coming to your show for the very first time, what type of show can I expect?
Very energetic. We love to have fun. We connect with each other. We're always laughing at each other. We're a very fun band. We love to get the audience involved. I'm always talking to the audience, getting them to sing along with us, getting them to be involved. You never know, you may even get pulled up on stage with us. It's quite, you never know what to expect when you come to one of our shows.
I heard you earlier in the show say that you guys do a lot of like throwback songs. What are some of the songs that you actually that's in your playlist that you sing? We always go to, we go anything from The Gambler's always one of our favorites that we pull in, that we can get the audience involved in. We can go from there. We do kids songs. We get the kids involved. Baby Shark is never far away. And even sometimes we may even pull out Time Warp. You never know what's going to come in our show. We try to keep it fresh. I love it. The Time Warp. So, well, hey, I mean, Halloween's just around the corner anyways. I mean,
exactly.
Perfect time for Time Warp.
Exactly. You never know what's going to come out next. And the boys never know what's going to come out next, which makes it even more interesting. So, so I can quite often just pull out these random songs and the boys are like, okay. So it's always fun. Yeah.
Awesome. So when you're on stage, how do you read a crowd?
How do I read a crowd? Good question. So I guess I always, when we start a show, I always tend to look for one or two people that I feel will get involved and will sort of give me a little bit of feedback. I'll generally find someone in the crowd that I can pick on, because that's always fun, in a nice way, of course. And they tend to get the crowd going. And then I always love to get the kids involved, because if you get the kids involved, you get the parents involved. So that's would be how I generally will read a crowd. I always look for my key people and get them involved first and see where they go. We're lucky that we have a really wide range of songs in our pockets, so that we can cover just about anything that's thrown at us, really. So it's very cool.
Awesome. So with the people watching now and the people will be watching later, how can they get in contact with you and how can they download your amazing music?
Yeah, so you can jump on to our Facebook page, Griffin County Facebook page, and also our website, griffincounty.com.au. And you can stream our songs on all of the major, like Spotify, iTunes, all the way around. So you'll find us right over the world.
Along with Music Dreams USA Radio.
Along with Music Dreams USA Radio. Yes. Yes.
So, now that we're talking about you and your music and your band, so I know what your plans are right now that you're looking, you as you mentioned, your book from now to the end of the year. What does next year look like for you? Is it going to be like another album you'd be putting together, or is that still kind of like in the works?
In the works. So at the moment, I've got a few ideas that I'm writing, and the band are coordinating with me at the moment. That'll probably won't happen until the end of next year. We'll start working on some new music. I'm just putting ideas together at the moment. So we'll ride this one out for the first 6 months of next year, and then start looking at putting another one down after that.
Who's the most famous artist you've met thus far?
Probably Keith Urban. He's obviously a local boy from over here. Keith was on the country music circuit scene when I was coming through, so we were through there. Buddy Miller from your end is one of my absolute heroes. So I met him a few years ago, which was amazing. So yeah, he'd probably be my bucket list, I think.
Did they give you any advice at all?
Just hard work. Both of them were just like, keep your head down, keep working hard, keep pushing for your dreams. So that's, I guess, is what we do. Yeah.
So when you're not in doing music and everything, do you have any hobbies?
Look, okay, here we go. I love to crochet. So I crochet blankets all the time. My grandma used to do it. My mum used to do it, and she's passed it on to me. So we have what we call our nanny blankets, and every kid in the family receives a nanny blanket from their nanny or granny or so we're kind of keeping the tradition going.
I love it. Hey, can you crochet me a new hat? Because I'm a hat guy. I
No
love wearing
worries.
hats on all my shows. I wear hats. Can you hook me
All
up
right.
with a hat?
I can actually. Yep, I can.
Okay.
I'll get started on it.
Is there anything you'd like to share with our audience this evening?
Hopefully you'll listen to our music and support guys like you that are supporting artists like us that are just trying to make our way in the industry. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to be doing things like this. So thank you to you guys for having us. And
Now, one of my final questions is, how in the world did you meet Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music?
Well, I actually, Andrew was actually who put me on to Blue Shamrock. So I don't really have a major story with Stephen, but Andrew and Amy obviously they go through Blue Shamrock. So we went, where should we go? And they went, you need to go through Stephen. So, and he has just been amazing. Yeah, so good. Yes.
Andrew is the man. As you mentioned, we had him on the show 2 weeks ago, and we had so much fun on that show. And I kept on telling what, we're going to bring you guys back for part two.
Two.
And I think one of the things, I'll share this with you now. One of the things that we're looking into doing is bring back all the artists that we've interviewed over the last year, and kind of like have like a concert, like interview, stuff like that, and maybe do something along those lines. So that's something we're looking at doing right now. It's still in the planning process, but we'll see how that rolls out. But any final thoughts?
Just listen to it. Just listen to our album. Listen to our EP. Keep your dreams going.
What do you think about the sharing of your music with like Spotify, all the bigger companies? Do you like the way that's going right now, or do you think that maybe it's something they need to take a step back and maybe revisit?
I definitely think it needs to be revisited. You know, it's very unfair to artists, especially little ones like us. Um, you know, it's a lot of it's the major platforms that we have to put our music out on, and I think it's time that they step back and started to respect the artists that they've got on there, because without the artists they don't have a platform, so they need to respect the music that we're putting down.
You know, I asked the same question to another, I want to say about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And off the air, he told me, he said, I agree with the unfairness of the profit sharing for the songs. But he said, you know, one of the things a lot of artists can do is go independent. If you go independent, you can make more money. You got like the forums, like you got Instagram, you got Facebook, and you got all these other places that you can go by yourself, and then you can play your music that way, and separate accounts where you can make money that way as well. So it's a little free advertisement for
Mm.
Facebook, LinkedIn, and also for YouTube, right? Not that they need
Yeah,
it, right? But hey, we're
yeah,
talking about bone.
definitely. Yeah,
But yeah, so I mean, and then after he and I spoke about that, I'm like, you know what? That actually makes sense.
yeah, it
I
does.
mean, why spend all this money to the big boys where you can hang on to that money, use it for a future project, and be your own boss, and you ain't worry about how many people are listening to your music, how many clicks have you gotten, are they paying you fairly, is that an accurate number they're giving you? I mean, all that can be done with the fingertips of your hand. So I mean, I appreciate him for sharing that with us. And I promised him I wouldn't say who he was, because he said, if I give this advice, Russ, okay, please don't tell them who gave it to you. So, but anyways, though, I mean, that's a little food for thought for you there. And,
There you go.
again,
Yes.
it's so nice to meet you. And thank you for being on the show this evening. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you. And, we're going to have you all back for part 2, I promise. And, thank you for making music great, and the best of luck with you and your band as you continue on your dreams and your journey. And, in Music Dreams USA Radio, we're all about supporting upcoming, inspiring artists, and you're in the mix, and we're always going to be there for you. So I want you to know that live on the air. We're always going to be there for you. And if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know.
Thank you so much for having us, Russell.
You're more than welcome. All right, then, my friend. All right, that was Miss KYLIE Moss with Griffin County Band. And, what a great interview this was. Are you an upcoming aspiring artist? Maybe you want to, have a spot on the show here. Please reach out to Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music, and we can help you to get your dreams rolling. And our show is all about promoting and supporting upcoming aspiring artists, just like KYLIE Moss and the Griffin County Band, who we just interviewed moments ago. If you want some more information, go to blueshamrockmusic.com and check out Mr. Stephen Brady. He'll be more than happy to help you. It's your friend Russell K. Make sure you tell your family and friends about us. We are live every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7 p.m. on all of our social media outlets with Music Dreams USA Radio. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, on our morning show tomorrow, we're going to play that smash hit from KYLIE Moss and Griffin County Band. Make sure you listen to us 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. It's the Russell K. Alexa and Shauna Brown morning show. Well, that's going to do it for us here now. And thank you so much for listening and watching. You take care. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you for supporting